Well, hello everyone. I hope you're all okay. Thank you very much and welcome back to Warren's Team Talk. And today I've got episode 10 of Memories of the Football Terrace for you. And in this episode, we're going to look at my memories of the 1991-92 season, where Arsenal attempted to defend their league title, which they'd won their previous season by only losing one game all season, which was a remarkable feat, really. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be an interesting one, and I'm sure you're going to really enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Before I get started, though, just some general housekeeping. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking on the little red subscribe button. I think it's in the bottom right hand corner of the video, and also make sure you press the thumbs up like button, and also make sure that you share the video with anyone you think might be interested in seeing it. You can do that. There's like a sort of curved right facing sort of tick thing. If you click on that, it will give you some options about where you want to send it and how you want to send it. So yeah, if you can do all of that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But more importantly than any of all of that, I hope that you're all well and having a great day wherever you are and whatever you're up to, and whatever part of the world you're in. So anyway, let's get on with it without any more of me waffling on and talking nonsense. So here we go. So yeah, like I say, this is going to look at Arsenal's 1991-92 season, and there he is, the great man, my favourite Arsenal manager of all time, George Graham. He's sitting there with the Barclays League Championship, as it was then, and you notice that there's two trophies. The first one is the English League Championship trophy, and that's the big one with the sort of rounded globe thing in the middle and the sort of person sort of with their hands on their head. And then the other one, which is to George's left, is the Barclays trophy that Barclays gave presented to the league champions at that time. So yeah, that's the great man, and that's the trophies that he attempted to defend in the season that we're about to talk about. So let's get on with it. So in the 1991-92 season, Arsenal made three major signings. The first of these came on the 24th of September 1991, when Arsenal signed Ian Wright from Crystal Palace for $2.5 million in a move that shocked the football world. And I've heard David Dean telling a story about this, and apparently he rang up Ron Knowles, the Crystal Palace chairman, and said, "How much do you want? We want to offer you." Sorry, let me start that again. How much do you want for your striker, to Ian Wright? And apparently Ron Knowles said, well, $2.5 million. And David Dean says, well, that's what I'm offering you. I'm not offering you $2.5 million. And so that, yeah, the deal got done. And while this was all going on, apparently George Graham was on a golf course somewhere with a load of media hacks. And they were all apparently really pissed off because he didn't tell them anything about the deal, but apparently George didn't know that much about it. So, yeah, there you go. So the story goes. How true that is, I really don't know. Arsenal also signed Jimmy Carter from Liverpool a few weeks later for £500,000 on the 8th of October 1991. And then roughly another 6 weeks later, they signed Paul Liderson from IK Start for £500,000 on the 20th of November 1991. So there you go. Let me just get rid of that little thing there. Hold on a sec. That's better. Yeah, so the outgoings for the 1991-92 season, Arsenal decided to offload Kawama Ampadu to West Bromwich Albion for £500,000. Stuart Young moved on to Hull City on a free transfer on the 11th of July 1991, and Michael Thomas left to go to Liverpool for £1.5 million on the 13th of December 1991. A move that I was a bit upset about, to be quite honest. I thought he was a good midfield player. Quite why the club decided to do that, I really don't know. Whether there was some injury issues or he had a falling out with some other people in the dressing room, or he'd had a falling out with George. I really don't know, but I'd find it difficult to believe that it was anything to do with Michael Thomas, because as far as I'm aware, and whatever I've seen of him when he's been on TV, he looks a thoroughly decent fella and a really inoffensive person. So I'd find it difficult to believe that anyone would have trouble getting on with him. But there you go. Unless it was just a business move and they wanted to recoup some of the money they paid out for the transfers that they brought in. I really don't know. I didn't understand it, but I remember I wasn't very happy about it at the time. What's going on? So here we go. This is the Arsenal team group from the 1991-92 season. Sorry, the picture's not that great. I did try to blow it up a lot bigger than that, but as soon as I started to lose that, it started to lose its definition, and it wasn't even worth displaying it. So I thought I'd leave it like that. And you could see the Arsenal team there, sitting there with the trophies in front of them. And I remember seeing Ian Wright talking on a podcast. I'm not Ian Wright, sorry, Super Kevin Campbell talking about the Arsenal the other day on the podcast, and he was saying that when they used to have the team group pictures taken, he said it didn't feel right unless there were trophies sitting in front of them on doing the team group, and that's the sort of mentality I want this current team to have, to be quite frank. Good on you, Super Kev. I love that attitude. And so this was the season that saw the introduction as well of Arsenal's famous bruised banana kit, which people these days, apparently they absolutely love it. Now, this isn't the way that I remember it at the time. I remember when they first launched that kit, people were calling it a monstrosity and all sorts of things, that people absolutely hated it. But now, as you know, the years have gone by. What is it now? That's 2000. So nearly 30 years ago, and people are like saying it's a classic. So there you go. But yeah, you can see it there. You can see Paul Merson, Ian Wright, and Super Kevin Campbell. And I think that's Rocky as well, just to the side of Super Kev, but you can't really see him. So yeah, that's the famous bruised banana kit. And to be honest with you, I'm still not a great fan of it. I don't think it's the worst kit in the world, but I don't think it's that great, to be honest. Anyway, so Arsenal contested the annual curtain raiser match on the 10th of August at Wembley Stadium, the FA Charity Shield, or the English Super Cup, as Jurgen Klopp refers to it as. And it's little more than a pre-season friendly, to be quite honest. And Arsenal drew this game 0-0 with Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham had obviously won the FA Cup the year before, and Arsenal were league champions. So there you go. So, and as a result of the 0-0 draw, the shield was shared between the two clubs for 6 months each. And here we can see both sides pictured with the shield. So yeah, that's why I think you can't really look at it than anything other than a pre-season friendly, to be quite honest. So the season in earnest started on the 17th of August, with Arsenal playing Queen's Park Rangers at Highbury in a game that ended in a 1-1 draw. QPR took the lead on the 15th minute through a goal from Dennis Bailey, and they held on to this league until the dying embers of the game. I think Arsenal's equaliser from Paul Merson came in the 4th minute of injury time. So yeah, it was a pretty hard fought encounter as far as I can remember. But we managed to get a point out of it, so that's not so bad, I suppose. We should have won it, really. So this was the league fixtures for August 1991. Arsenal drew at home, as we've just seen, 1-1 with QPR. They then went on to lose their next 2 games. They lost 3-1 at Everton, with Nigel Winterburn scoring Arsenal's goal. And then they followed that up 4 days later when they went to Aston Villa and lost by 3-1. And then the next home game, the second home game in the season, on the 21st of August, they won 2-0 against Luton Town, with Paul Merson and Alan Smith grabbing Arsenal's goals. And then finally, on the 31st of August, they won 2-1 at home to Manchester City, with Alan Smith and Anders Limpar getting the goals. And that was in front of a crowd of 35,000. So, or just over 35,000. So that was the fixtures from August. And then, so the first league table, the table on the 31st of August showed Arsenal sitting in 12th place, having played 2, drawn 1 and lost 2, and a minus goal difference of -1. And yeah, so it wasn't a great start to the season. Not as bad as it has been this year, I have to say, but it wasn't great. Not particularly when you consider they'd been league champions the year before and had been almost unbeaten for the whole season. So yeah, they after 5 games they were sitting in 12th. So the next game I'm going to look at was on the 28th of September 1991, which was a first division clash at the Dell, which was Southampton's old ground before they moved to the St Mary's Stadium. And this game marked Ian Wright's league debut for Arsenal. You can see him there celebrating one of his 3 goals at Southampton. And you can see him pictured there with his great friend, Rocky Rocastle, Alan Smith and Anders Limpar. And Rocky and Wrighty scored all the goals that day. Rocky gave Arsenal the lead in the 39th minute. Then Ian Wright went on to score a hat-trick, and he scored his last of his hat-trick goals on the 75th minute. And like I say, that was Ian Wright's first league goal for the club. And like I say, it was his league debut. So what a way to make your league debut for Arsenal by scoring a hat-trick. Absolutely superb. And it's uncanny because he scored his first league goal for Arsenal at Southampton. And some years later, Thierry Henry managed to score his first league goal for Arsenal at Southampton. So it's obviously a good place for new strikers who have just signed for the club to go and play, I would have thought. So yeah, that was the 28th of September, and Ian Wright's league debut. So what a debut. So the fixtures for September and October 1991. On the 3rd of September, Arsenal drew 2-2 away at Leeds, with Alan Smith scoring both the goals. And then on the 7th of September, Arsenal lost 2-1 at home to Coventry City, with Tony Adams scoring in the dying moments of the game. And And then a week later, on the 14th of September, Arsenal won 4-1 away at Crystal Palace with Super Kevin Campbell scoring a brace, and Alan Smith scored one, and Michael Thomas scored one. And then another week later, Arsenal won 5-2 at home this time to Sheffield United, with Alan Smith, Lee Dixon from a penalty, Rocky Rocastle, Kevin Campbell and Perry Groves all getting on the score sheet in quite an emphatic victory, really. And then on the 28th of September, as we saw, Arsenal romped to a comfortable 4-0 victory at Southampton. And then on the 5th of October, Arsenal won by 3-2 at home to Chelsea. And Lee Dixon again scored from a penalty spot, and Ian Wright and Kevin Campbell scored the other 2 goals. And then 2 weeks later, Arsenal played their next league game when they drew 1-1 away at Manchester United, and Peter Schmeichel scored an own goal in that game to give Arsenal a valuable point. And then finally for this period, on the 26th of October, Arsenal won 2-0 at home to Notts County, with Alan Smith and Ian Wright grabbing the goals. And then, so the league table, as of the 26th of October, which was the day of the last game in that September and October period, saw Arsenal having moved up to 4th place in the table, just 5 points behind the early leaders, Leeds United. So yeah, there was a big improvement in form during this period. So yeah, things weren't looking too bad, really. And I was, at this stage, I was quite hopeful that Arsenal would be able to retain their league title, because they looked absolutely phenomenal going forward. And then the next game I want to talk about is the 2-0 game where Arsenal won 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspur, which wasn't on the 28th of September. I always manage to make at least one schoolboy error in these videos, don't I? Oh my God, how embarrassing. Let's see when that was. Yeah, it was the 1st of December, not the 28th of September. So I'm sorry about that. And Arsenal won the game at Highbury by 2-0, with goals from Ian Wright and Kevin Campbell, to give Arsenal a good 2-0 victory against their bitter rivals Tottenham in the North London derby. So yeah, great day for the Gunners. So the fixtures for that period, November and December, saw Arsenal lose 1-0 at home to West Ham United. And I think I remember that game. I think I remember being on the North Bank, and there have been a lot of really upset supporters at the end of the game. And then 2 weeks later, Arsenal drew 1-1 away against Oldham Athletic, Ian Wright grabbing the goal. And I think I remember this game as well. I think I remember he got a lot of abuse from the Oldham supporters during the game, and there was some verbals between him and the Oldham supporters at the end of the match. And then on the 23rd of November, Arsenal drew again away at Sheffield Wednesday, 1-1, with Steve Bold getting an equaliser for the Gunners. And then, as we saw, Arsenal defeated Tottenham 2-0 at home on the 1st of December. And then on the 8th of December, Arsenal lost 3-2 away at Nottingham Forest, where Paul Merson and Alan Smith grabbed the goals. And then just under 2 weeks later, Arsenal won 4-2 at home to Everton, in which was a remarkable game where Ian Wright, as I like to call him, scored 4 goals in the game. Now, there's not many players that have managed to score 4 goals. I think Thierry did it against Leeds a few years ago, and I remember pretty sure that Tony Woodcock scored 5 against Aston Villa when we defeated Aston Villa 6-2 at Villa Park. And I think Ted Drake did it as well. And I think that was against Aston Villa as well. He managed to score 5. So this game, Ian Wright managed to grab 4 goals, 3 of them being in the first half as well. So phenomenal performance there once again from Mr. Wright. Then 5 days later on Boxing Day, Arsenal lost 1-0 away at Luton Town. And then just 2 days after that, they lost again 1-0 away at Manchester City. So here's the league table as at the end of the year. And you can see that Arsenal would now slip down to 7th and were starting to be quite a bit behind the leaders. They were 15 points behind Manchester United, who were 2 points clear of their bitter rivals Leeds United. Arsenal was starting to lose ground in the title race, to be quite frank. And at this stage they'd lost 7 games, and Luton Town, West Ham United and Southampton were all sitting in the relegation places. So moving on, the next game I want to talk about is this game on the 15th of February, which was a First Division game when Arsenal thrashed Sheffield Wednesday by 7-1. And in this game, Alan Smith gave Arsenal the lead. Nigel Winterburn equalised just before half-time. And then Kevin Campbell scored 2, and Anders Limpar scored 2, and Paul Merson and Ian Wright both scored goals as well. And what the mad thing was about this game was, like, 6 of Arsenal's 7 goals that day all came in the last 20 minutes of the game. So it was really mad, absolutely mad. But Arsenal, in the end, they absolutely shredded Sheffield Wednesday to pieces. So then the January-February period saw Arsenal draw 1-1 with Wimbledon at home. And then 10 days later, they drew 0-0 with Aston Villa at home, dropping more points again in the title race. And then they drew 0-0 away at Queen's Park Rangers. So there you have it. There was 6 points dropped in 3 games away from 2 of them at home and 1 away. And then on the 29th of January, Arsenal lost 2-0 at Anfield to Liverpool. And after this game on the 29th of January, Arsenal went on a 17-game unbeaten run. And in fact, I think it was until the end of the season, in fact, that they were unbeaten after this game. Now, the first game in this unbeaten run came on the 1st of February, where they drew 1-1 with Manchester United at Highbury, where Rocky Rocastle scored the goal just before half-time for the Gunners. A week later, they won 1-0 away at Notts County, thanks to a goal from Alan Smith. And then 3 days later, on the 11th of February, they drew 1-1 at home with Norwich City, thanks to a goal from Paul Merson. And those of you who are curious, during these days, Norwich were a very, very good team and very formidable force, and were always in the top half of the table, pushing in and around the top 6. Very, very good side and played really good, entertaining football. So there was a very difficult game for the Gunners that day. And then there was 4 days later, Arsenal, as we've just seen, thrashed Sheffield Wednesday 7-1. And then on the 22nd of February, Arsenal drew 1-1 with Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane, with Ian Wright grabbing Arsenal's equaliser in the 89th minute. So yeah, so that started the unbeaten run of that's 5 of the 17 games. And then at the end of this period, Arsenal had climbed 1 place up to 6th. They'd gone ahead of Aston Villa, although most of the teams around them had a game in hand. But yeah, Arsenal's form had slightly improved just a little bit. But by this stage, they were now 16 points adrift of the league leaders. So it was looking highly unlikely that they would retain their title. Then on the 14th of March, Arsenal won 2-0 at West Ham United, thanks to 2 goals from Ian Wright. And you can see him celebrating with Rocky. And they're wearing, obviously, the bruised banana kit there that we talked about at the beginning of the show. And then in the Arsenal's league fixtures for March, they were unbeaten in March. They started the month off by winning 2-1 at home to Oldham Athletic, thanks to goals from Ian Wright and Paul Merson. They followed that up with the 2-0 win, as we've just seen, at West Ham, where Ian Wright scored a brace. And then on 8 days later, they drew 1-1 with Leeds at home, thanks to a goal from Paul Merson. And then 6 days later, on the 28th of March, they won 3-1 away at Wimbledon, thanks to goals from Ray Parlour, Ian Wright and Kevin Campbell. And then on the 31st of March, they drew 3-3 at home with Nottingham Forest, where goals from Lee Dixon from a penalty, Paul Merson and Tony Adams gave Arsenal a point. So yeah, that was the next 5. And the league table at this stage, and now Arsenal have moved up to 5th and were 15 points behind the league leaders, Manchester United, who were 1 point ahead of Leeds United. So yeah, it was, like I say, it was looking increasingly unlikely that Arsenal would be able to regain their trophy. And then on the 20th of April, Arsenal thrashed Liverpool by 4-0 at Highbury, with goals from Ian Hillier in the 6th minute, Ian Wright in the 16th minute, Anders Limpar on the 40th minute, and then Ian Wright just after half-time in the 47th minute. So a very comfortable victory against the lads from Merseyside. And here you can see in this picture, you can see Ian Wright, and I got this picture from YouTube, stroking home one of his 2 goals in that game. And then for the Arsenal's fixtures for April and May, which was all of April until the end of the season, in fact, saw Arsenal win 1-0 away at Coventry City, thanks to a goal from Kevin Campbell. And then on the 8th of April, 1992, Ian Wright scored from a penalty, and also on the 33rd minute, and also on the 82nd minute he scored. And then Super Kevin Campbell scored in the 46th minute. And then on the 11th of April, Arsenal won home by 4-1 against Crystal Palace, with Paul Merson scoring a hat-trick and Kevin Campbell getting Arsenal's goals. And then on the 18th of April, Arsenal drew 1-1 away at Sheffield United, with Kevin Campbell scoring for the Gunners. And then on the 20th of April, as we saw, Arsenal defeated Liverpool by 4-0. And then on the 25th of April, Arsenal drew 1-1 away at Chelsea, thanks to a goal from Lee Dixon. And then finally, the last game of the season, Arsenal defeated Southampton by 5-1, in a game which saw Super Kevin Campbell score and Ian Wright scored a hat-trick and Alan Smith scored one as well. So that was Arsenal's league fixtures for the 1991-92 season. And Arsenal finished the season in 4th place. And like I said, after that defeat earlier in the season, I think that was away at Liverpool, they went on a 17-game unbeaten run. And this pushed them back up the table to get a 4th place finish, 10 points behind the league champions, Leeds United, who won the title by 4 points from Manchester United. Now, if Arsenal had repeated their form they showed when they went on that 17-game unbeaten run throughout the course of the whole season, Arsenal would have won the league title by 10 points. So it just goes to show what an improvement there was once they started that unbeaten run in their form. And sadly, the teams that got relegated that season were Luton Town, Notts County and West Ham United. And Manchester City finished 5th and Liverpool finished 6th. So just shows you how times have changed, really, doesn't it? Chelsea were down in 14th and Tottenham were 15th. So there you go. It just shows you, doesn't it? And you heard me talking about Norwich. Well, they finished 18th that season. And Coventry, who won 4-1 today in the Jimmy Hill derby against Fulham, they're down in 19th in the 1st division. So it looks like they might be on the verge of return to the top tier of English football, but let's wait and see, because there's a long way to go yet, isn't there? So let's have a look at Arsenal's League Cup fixtures for that season. On the 20th of April 1992, Arsenal played the League Cup second round first leg game away at Leicester City, where they drew 1-1, with Arsenal's goal coming from Ian Wright. Leicester threshed from their lucky 4-0 aggregate win over Maidstone United. Skool, they managed to get a draw in this game, and their goal came from Steve Walsh. And actually, I think his goal gave Leicester the lead. But yeah, like I say, they had a lucky escape in the League Cup first round when they defeated Maidstone United by 4-0. And yeah, and you'll hear me talking about that League Cup tie in the Groundhopper Diaries that I did. I think it was not the last one, but the one before. I spoke about that game when I went to watch that game at Leicester with the Maidstone supporters. So yeah, that was an interesting one. So the rest of Arsenal's League Cup fixtures that season, as you saw, Arsenal took on Leicester City in the second round, and it was a 2-leg tie. The first leg, they drew 1-1 at Filbert Street in Leicester. And then the second leg, Arsenal won by 2-0, thanks to goals from Ian Wright and Paul Merson. And then in the third round, Arsenal lost by 1-0 away at Coventry City. Then in the FA Cup, now this is probably one of Arsenal's most embarrassing days in their history. They played Wrexham of the 4th division at the time in the FA Cup third round, and Arsenal even took the lead and were leading until the 82nd minute. And then Mickey Thomas, Wrexham got awarded a free kick just outside the Arsenal penalty area. And Mickey Thomas, a former Wales international, took up and struck a curling free kick shot, which ended up in the Arsenal net on the 82nd minute. And then 2 minutes later, Wrexham through a player by the name of Watkin, I can't remember his first name, unfortunately, scored the winner to give, which was the game ended in a 2-1 victory for Wrexham. And like I say, it was one of the most embarrassing days in Arsenal's history. And I can tell you the amount of jip and banter that I received as a result of this defeat was just unbelievable. Mostly because of the fact that Arsenal were 1-0 up and like with about 10 minutes to go or 8 minutes to go, and then it just all slipped away from them. And I still can't believe how they managed to lose this game. I really can't. It was just mad. But these things, that's the FA Cup for you, and that's the sort of thing that can happen if you're not like bang on it when you play these games. You've got to take these games seriously. So there you go. I don't know what happened, whether Arsenal thought they were just going to have to turn up and they'd win, but yeah, Arsenal got turned over, and it's one of the biggest shocks in FA Cup history. And at some point in the near future, I am going to do a series about great footballing upsets, which should be quite interesting. I'm sure it'll be a really good series, and I'm looking forward to doing that one. And yeah, let's see. Well, I don't know when I'm going to start doing that, but hopefully it won't be too long. And then, yeah, as I say, Arsenal played that game on the 4th of January, and they were dumped out in the 3rd round against 4th Division Wrexham. Then Arsenal that year, courtesy of the fact that they were on the league title the previous year, played Benfica in the European Cup in the 2nd round. And the game I want to talk about from their FA European Cup run was the 2nd round first leg away tie at Benfica when Arsenal drew 1-1. And I have to say, I remember this game, and I remember I was really, really nervous, and I was worried that we'd get turned over. And Benfica player Isias scored on the 15th minute to give Benfica a 1-0 lead. And then Super Kevin Campbell managed to grab Arsenal an equaliser 3 minutes later, and it was a really, really good goal, I have to say. And here you can see him celebrating, doing like a sort of Peter Crouch style robotic dance thing. But this was some good few years before Peter Crouch decided to do that. So yeah, it was impressive. I was very impressed with that performance, and I was quite confident that come the 2nd leg that Arsenal would get through. But let's see what happened with their European Cup run that year. So in the first leg, they won by 6-1 at home against Austria Vienna. And in this game, Alan Smith managed to score 4 goals. And Andy Linnigan scored a rare goal for Arsenal, and Anders Limpar got 1 as well. So yeah, but Alan Smith's goals came in the space of 16 minutes. So it was quite an impressive haul, really. In the 2nd leg, obviously, because Arsenal, the tie was dead, really. It was a dead rubber of the game. Arsenal lost by 1-0 in Vienna. And then they moved on to the 2nd round. And in the 2nd round, they were drawn to play against Benfica. And in that game, they drew 1-1 in the first leg away in Portugal, with Super Kevin Campbell scoring Arsenal's goal in the 18th minute. And then in the 2nd leg, the game was finally poised at 1-1, with Colin Pates scoring Arsenal's goal in the 20th minute. And then the game went into extra time. And in the extra time, Benfica scored twice to knock Arsenal out of the European Cup, unfortunately, and win the game by 3-1 after extra time. And I have to say, I was absolutely devastated after that result. So let's look at Arsenal's goal scorers for the season. So you had Paul Merson. He made 41 league appearances, scoring 12 goals. He made one appearance in the FA Cup and failed to score, and then scored one goal in 3 appearances in the League Cup, and played 4 games in the European Cup but didn't score. So in a total of 42, 45, 49 games, he managed to score 13 goals. And then Alan Smith, in 33 games, league games, 6 substitutes appearances, he scored 12 league goals. He made 1 appearance in the FA Cup and scored 1 goal. So that's a total of 13 goals in 34 games. And then he made 2 League Cup appearances. So that was 36 games and 13 goals. And then in Europe, he scored 4 goals in 4 appearances. So in total, he played 34, 36, 40 games, and he scored 12, 13, 17 goals. And then the main man himself, Ian Wright, scored. He played 30 league games, scoring 24 goals. He didn't play in the FA Cup match. And he played 3 games in the League Cup, scoring 2 goals. And so in 33 games, he managed to score 26 goals, which is a phenomenal output, really. And then another main man, Super Kevin Campbell, made 22 league appearances, 9 as substitute, scoring 13 goals. Made the appearance in the FA Cup match but never scored. Played 2 League Cup games but never scored, and then scored 1 goal in 4 European games. So in total, he scored 14 goals in 23, 25, 29 appearances. So hold on, sorry. 23, 25, 29 appearances, 9 as substitute in the league, and he scored 14 goals. Yes, not a bad return, really. So yeah, that was Kevin Campbell. And then let's just go back to the league table, because I want to point something out here. I'm still knocked about this, even after all these years have passed. Now, Arsenal had this tag under George Graham of playing boring, negative football, and like 1-0 to the Arsenal was a common shout, and Arsenal used to get a lot of banter for playing boring, negative football. But if you look at that, right, Arsenal scored 81 league goals that year, which was the highest amount of league goals in the season compared to other sides. And so how they can be seen as being negative and boring, I just don't get it. Sorry, I just think that's absolute nonsense. Where this tag of 1-0 to the Arsenal comes from, I really don't know. It's just absolute nonsense, if you ask me. So, yeah, so that was Arsenal's 1991-92 season. It was also the season that saw Arsenal, along with a number of other top-flight clubs, leave the Football League to create the FA Premier League. And also it marked the end of Arsenal's North Bank stand, which was knocked down to build an all-seater stand. So, yeah, very sad, really, for me. Some great memories of standing on the North Bank, and all the rest of it. I absolutely love the North Bank, and it still saddens me to this day that we're not at Highbury anymore, and that stand doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, so there you go. Please don't forget to put in your comments in the comment section of the video. If you've got any stories you want to tell about Arsenal during the 1991-92 season, and any comments about the North Bank or stories about being on the North Bank, that would be fantastic. I'd love to hear all those stories because I absolutely loved it on that terrace. And also, or other stories you've got about watching Arsenal or other clubs even. I'd love to read them and find out all about what you got up to and things like that. So yeah, that'd be brilliant. So before I go, I just want to tell you about some other YouTube channels that I really like and enjoy that are related to Arsenal. There's the Old School Gunners YouTube channel. He's got a load of Arsenal content, and he's a really good guy and very knowledgeable about the Arsenal. Apparently, he tells me he's been following the Arsenal since 1992. He's a good Cork man, and yeah, he's a good lad. I really like him. And then there's the Three Pointers TV YouTube channel, another group of really great lads, and I really enjoy their content. And yeah, it's great stuff, and I enjoy watching their videos. They're a good bunch of lads, very knowledgeable, and it's quite funny as well. They also bring a good bit of humour to their videos. But they're also very passionate Arsenal supporters. And then Arsenal Alex, another good guy, and obviously as by the name you can see that he talks about Arsenal in his videos. Very passionate Arsenal fan, and another really good guy, and I love him to bits. I think all of them, I think they're great. And then last but not least, there's the infamous and incredible Claude and the Bansta's channel, and I've never seen two presenters, Diesel and Terry. I've never seen two fellas like go at it like those two do when they're on stream together, because whenever they do their streams, invariably it'll end up in a massive tear up between the two of them, arguing about Arsenal and Mikel Arteta's suitability to be the Arsenal manager. You've got one side of it is Diesel, who thinks that Arsenal are in a mess and it's not going well under Arteta's reign. And then you got the other side of it, which is Terry, and he thinks that Mikel Arteta is the greatest manager in the history of football. It's just absolute madness, and it's a really great entertainment and well worth a watch. It's absolutely brilliant entertainment. And again, I love the two guys. They're really nice fellas. So make sure you go and check all their channels out. Make sure you subscribe to them, put likes on their videos, share the content around. It's great stuff, and you won't be disappointed, I'm sure. So there you go. That was my memories of the Arsenal 1991-92 season. I hope you all really enjoyed that. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. And let's hope Arsenal get a victory this afternoon down at the Amex Stadium in Brighton. And please don't forget, as I said before, please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Please put a like on the video, and please pass it around to anyone who you think might be interested in seeing it. Please make sure you put some comments in about watching football, whether it be Arsenal or any other club. And also, if you've got memories of watching Arsenal or any other club, particularly during the 1991-92 season. I'd love to hear them. And most important of all, please make sure that you spread some love and friendship around the world with all this drama and madness that's going on at the moment, with pandemics and petrol shortages and possibility of meat shortages and food shortages. I mean, is there anyone running this country at the moment, or is it just a complete and utter shambles? That's what I'd like to know. But anyway, I'm not going to start going on a rant about that, because otherwise I'm going to end up having a heart attack or something, because I'm really angry about it. But anyway, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and let's hope Arsenal do the business this afternoon. Come on, you Gunners! And take care, everyone, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye for now.